Hi, I'm going to bake a cake, and these are the ingredients. We have a cup of white sugar, half a cup of butter, 2 eggs, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 1½ cups of flour, 1¾ cups of baking powder, and ½ cup of milk. We're going to mix it right here in this bowl and see what we come up with. Please, you are to preheat your oven to 350 degrees, and then grease and flour a 9 by 9-inch pan or some cupcake pans. Hi. Shall we get started and see how this comes out? I hope you're all doing well. Oh, Grandma's doing okay. I've written down the directions. All right, let's see. In a medium bowl, cream together the sugar and the butter. Must be creamed together. Here's your butter. Well, this is my last evening off, and then it's back to the races tomorrow. So let's put our butter. Please start off with softened butter to makes it a lot easier. But we'll just kind of fork through this to make sure it's kind of creamy. And then we're going to start adding the sugar. We'll add it a little bit at a time. I hope you're all doing well. I kind of wanted something sweet, and I thought, well, why don't I try to go online and find a vanilla cake recipe, something simple, a simple vanilla cake. I made one a few weeks ago. This is a different recipe. I'm guessing pretty much all the recipes are the same for your basic vanilla cake. As you can see, it's coming together just like this as you cream the butter and the sugar together. Many of you have done this for chocolate chip cookies. Your standard recipe starts with you creaming together your vanilla and your brown sugars with butter or margarine, and this is pretty much the same process for this cake. Okay, just checking the oven to make sure everything's okay. But yeah, got a little bit of butterflies in the tummy about returning to work, but I've been in prayer. Been praying for y'all. You know how we do. All right, let's add the last of the sugar. Okay, this looks pretty good. Looks pretty good so far. It's all creamed together, incorporated nicely. Well, for you all, after tomorrow, you'll have your weekend, which is great. Kind of come down from the holidays. Oh, I'm so glad it's done. So much pressure, so much unnecessary pressure we've talked about over and over before. All right, this looks pretty good, actually. It looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. And then we're going to beat in the eggs one at a time. Just gonna slide both of them in there, but you can just to beat them in one at a time. Let's see, there's just one right there. Mix that in. You're to beat in your 2 eggs one at a time. Let's go over to the wooden spoon. Give us a little bit more strength. But you got to mix it in. You gotta mix them eggs with that sugar and that butter. Get it nice and creamy. We're gonna do it the old school way. Use a little bit of elbow grease. Oh wow, that's coming out pretty good. Look at that. Look at the texture of that. That's pretty good. Hi LMC. Hi Missy. Yeah. I think everyone is, Ellen, I think everyone's breathing they're breathing a sigh of relief. As during this week, you know, if you have a Christmas tree in the decorations, little by little, you start putting things. Hi, Missy and Denise Broomer. You start putting the decorations away. You start putting Grandma's tablecloth away. Your all the different things. We're going to put in our second egg and beat that in. For those of you that just came in, Mommy's making a homemade vanilla cake. I just decided, well, I wanted something sweet. I really couldn't sleep. What I've been doing with this week off, if I have been staying up the normal hours I would stay up during my work week. I'm trying to get my body clock I want to keep my body clock regulated. I don't want to go into shock. Thank you for the 2 thumbs up. Okay, now that we've incorporated that, okay, okay, let's set that to oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry. The vanilla goes in next. Here is our vanilla. Gonna mix that in. Okay, now we're gonna set this to the side and go over to our dry ingredients. And let's see. I think I can get away with putting the dry ingredients, which aren't that much, as far as content, as far as weight content. Okay, so we must combine the flour. Here is our flour. Just do it this way. Combine flour and our baking powder. Kind of try to sprinkle that around evenly as we can. Oh, little spillage. Oh well, that's okay. We'll just kind of gently move that around, blend that in. Okay. Just a moment, I'm just making sure that I'm doing this correctly. Okay. Just a moment, I just want to look on this side. Okay. Also, I've got to put my milk into the liquid here. Mix that. And then here comes the exciting part where you mix the powdered into the liquid. The powdered ingredients into the liquid. I'm like this. Oh, I know what you're saying, LNMC. Sometimes we don't bake for a while. We don't bake for a while, and you've got to check all your ingredients, and that's a good idea to check the freshness date on those ingredients. Vanilla, baking powder, baking soda, that kind of thing. So let's get this combined. I'm hoping that I was supposed to have that milk. It says a half a cup of milk. Okay. I would have to have the milk in there so that can blend together good. All right, here is the the rest of the dry ingredients. Let's see what this is going to look like. So far, it's looking okay. I do so enjoy baking. There's something kind of peaceful. You're alone in the kitchen and you're cooking, just kind of quietly to yourself. And there's something kind of special about making something homemade if you have the time to do it. Nowadays, everything is just so easy peasy. You can go into the refrigerated section of any major grocery store or any small store, and you can get the pre-made cookie mix where you can kind of break off the pre-cut pieces and bake, you know what I mean? Everything, you know, there's so many people, so many families. There's so many families that are so busy, you know, especially if you have smaller children and you are taking them to different events. They're in this club, they're in soccer, they're in this, they're in football, all that kind of thing. Yes, we're taking it old school. Believe it or not, I got this probably 20 years ago, this old-fashioned heater. I think it cost 29 cents. I'm not kidding. About 29 cents at a little tag sale. I can't remember if it was upstate New York. But yes, back in 1842, this is how we mixed. Thank you. Hey, maybe it'll help my bingo arm. But for those of you that just slipped in, Mommy just put all the ingredients together. Grandma just put all the ingredients together for a single layer vanilla cake. I just felt like baking. It's the evening before me going back to work. I'm a little like this, so I just said, you know what? Even if I come on live and I'm all by myself, eventually someone will see it. I know you all are busy, and it's 10 o'clock. Some portions of the countries it's 10:28, 7:28. Hey, Missy, would have me mix with a mixer like that? I'm a woman of a certain age. Oh, I understand. I understand completely. Well, you know what, my friends? I think we have cake mix. It looks like cake mix. So I have the greased powdered pan ready. As you can see, I'm trying little by little to be more organized, where I'm not fumbling all over the place. Oh, and watching over is my lovely cat. Remember this? Remember this kitty cat? Oh, and then I heard my real cat. So let's. I am gonna pick up some plastic bowls from the Dollar Tree. Okay, here we go, kids. Here we go. We have liftoff. We have liftoff. Well, it's pouring in like a box cake mix would. It seems, you know, the texture of the liquid seems right. I'm gonna pour that in there. All right. And as many of you know, if you kind of do like this, you want to try to get the air bubbles out. Just kind of gently tap it if you choose. But here we go, dears. And the oven is set for 350 degrees. And 30 to 40 minutes for a cake, 20 to 25 minutes for cupcakes. I opted for the little square cake. So here we go. Okay. Let's just hope it turns out okay. Give me a moment. And I'll slide you gently this way, if I can. Okay. I don't know what happened or what I did, but I'm going to be going to the Dollar Tree to get some more bowls. I'm going to get some El Cheapo bowls, a few little things. The other thing I'm going to try, it's going to take me a little bit of a while because I probably have to make one completely. I just need to use this bowl, so I want to rinse it out. I have talked about this before. I'd like to try, I know this is going to sound crazy, but one night I was watching Julia Child. First I was kind of watching her life story, how she came to be, how she met her husband, and all the other stuff about her life. And then I was watching some of her shows. They have them on YouTube. They have them uploaded to YouTube. They had Graham Kerr. I think he was called the Galloping Gourmet. Graham Kerr, K-E-R-R. But anywho, they had her making all these different recipes and a souffle. A souffle. And I would like to try, as goofy as it may sound to you all, I would like to try to make a souffle. I watched her make a cheese souffle. Now even, I don't know how that might come out, with my little oven. But I just find different types of food, different food from different cultures. I find that very interesting. And I'd like to get into cooking a few different dishes from around the world if I could. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. Now, why do I need the bowl? Because I'm going to make some homemade. Thank you, Ellen. Hi, Tanisha. I don't know if I said it, but hi, Miss Missy. How are you? Now, what I would like to do is I want to make some homemade vanilla frosting. And it's a very simple recipe. I got this online. All right. In this recipe, you need, for vanilla frosting, you need 3 cups of powdered sugar, 1/3 of a cup of butter or margarine softened, 1½ teaspoons of vanilla extract, and 1 to 2 tablespoons of milk. I'm wonderful, Miss Tanisha. I hope you're doing well, honey. And this is 1 to 2 tablespoons of milk. I'm guessing this is for vanilla because of the vanilla. But I'm guessing you could tweak this recipe. You'd have to sit there and kind of practice and play around with it for different flavors. Because basically powdered sugar, butter, and milk are the basic ingredients. And of course the vanilla is making it vanilla. So I'm thinking to myself, I wonder if I had cocoa powder, or if I had lemon extract. If it would be a lemon frosting. If I had almond, you know what I mean? Just the thought. I like playing around with different ingredients in the kitchen. I find that kind of interesting. Okay, we're going to mix the powdered sugar and butter with a spoon or electric mixer on. Okay, so we basically have to combine the butter and the powdered sugar. So here's our butter. I'm going to have to put a fork through it to kind of soften it up. Like I say, there's something, this is going to sound kind of, I don't know how it's going to sound, but I'm going to try to soften this butter down a little bit. Okay, honey, go ahead. The baby's very important. Hi, stop, drop, and roll on. Hold on, honey. Let me see if I can do this. Because stop, drop, and roll on just said something. And of course, I have to press this so I can see what she just said. Okay, I know who Graham Kerr is. You can make us that souffle. Thank you so much for the confidence. Thank you. Hi, Miss Lena. Hi, Ava Love. I apologize to you all as I'm doing this. As I explained before, and I'll just keep explaining it because I don't want anyone to take that personal when I don't respond to what you say. The chat comes in when you make a statement. Then it goes back out. And then I just see my big head. So basically, this is really sticking. basically I have the butter here. I have the butter here, which we need to soften down just a little bit, and then we're going to mix the powdered sugar in with it. If I can. I know I can. Let me see something. This isn't working with this itty-bitty little thing. I'm going to rinse this spoon. Give me a moment. I'm just rinsing the top. I'm just rinsing the top of the wooden spoon. Okay, let's get that off that spoon. And then what we're gonna do is that looks pretty good. Then we're gonna start adding the vanilla, the powdered sugar a little at a time if we can. So let's just put some of that in there. And then we'll add the vanilla and then the milk. It says to start off with about a tablespoon of the milk, and if you need more, to add more. Let's see. Let me turn this over, and I want to look at something. 20 to 25 minutes. Give me a second. Okay. Gently closing the door of that oven. I want to set the timer for about 12 minutes. Okay, get yourself some rest, Miss Ellen. Thank you so much for popping in. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. So, yeah, it just seems kind of weird. It just has a... Okay, let me flip that back over. I've got one recipe on one side and one on the other. To me, I don't know. That just seems kind of weird to me that you just add just this small amount of powdered sugar. But then again, once you add any kind of margarine or margarine or butter to powdered sugar, you see how it starts to shrink down? It just starts to something about that butter. It just starts to absorb and starts to get kind of in chunks. So I got a little bit nervous about that. I still have to add the milk and the vanilla. Hi, raindrops on roses. Thank you. Raindrops on roses, she's here tonight. Thank you so much for stopping in. Yeah, I realize I'll just say it this way. It's a school night, let's just say. It's a school night. And Granny does not get upset. Oh my gosh, I was only here for 3 hours. I don't understand. Even though it's the middle of the week, why can't you stay here for 3 hours, you know? I don't think so. You got stuff to do. You got to get your hair together and put it under that silk scarf. You know what I mean? You got to have stuff. You know what I mean? Life happens. And I'm just very grateful for anyone who comes in for a few moments to say, hey, what's up? You know, say, hi, how you doing? All right, let's just dump the rest of this in here. And then I'm going to see how far I can go. And then we want to add that milk. It's a very simple recipe, but like I say, I'm thinking that's the vanilla extract. And like I said earlier, pardon me for repeating myself, I wonder what would happen if I switched out and had lemon. You know, I probably could get a lemon flavor, basic frosting. You know, sometimes you're sitting home, you don't want to go out or the store is closed, and you want something sweet. You can make this simple cake. If I can make this cake, Fancy can make, my cat can make this cake. It's really very simple. All right, we have our leche. We got our milk. You're supposed to add just a tablespoon. So let's try to drizzle some of that part of it. I'll try to be good, but oh, there we go. I see what's happening here. You see how it's starting to form? Mm-hmm. Oh, here we go. Yes. Yes. I don't know why I doubt myself so bad like that. But y'all know I'm just real about it. I kind of fumble around in the kitchen. By the way, the homemade dinner rolls, that wooden brown, excuse me, finger locked up. Basically, you can, I took them, I was eating them a little at a time with my mother's stew that I made, kind of reheating a couple of cups of stew. and then having the biscuits or the homemade rolls with that. Basically, I just turn them over, put them on the oven rack, and put them in the oven for about 3 minutes, and they got brown on the side that wouldn't brown. Then they got a little bit crispy, really, really good. Ooh, that was bad. My fingers lock up, you know, they'll just lock into place. Like that one locked really bad. It's okay. Repetitive motion and keep tossing potatoes. See, that's why I do not. I think you get full Social Security when you turn 70, I think. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm rolling the corner to 60, and I do not want to be working at 70, and I just can't see myself doing this job at 68 or something, you know? Who wants to work so hard and then you physically hurt yourself because of a physical job, right? And then here you are, you're finally getting your Social Security check. You got everything lined up. You're going to go ahead and get some Medicaid, maybe even go get some food stamps. There's no shame in either one. Guess what? You work for decades and decades and decades. This is the time for you to sit down. You know what I mean? This is the time for you to enjoy your grandchildren. If you're married or if you have adult children, you all want to go ahead and go out on a vacation. Or you know what? Guess what? Have a staycation at home with your husband. You know what I mean? So I just, you know, or if you're a single old lady like me, you just want to sit down and relax, you know? And I just don't want that job to get me to the place where I'm just all like this. And, you know, now here I am in my, I say golden years, right, for our 50s and 60s, but kind of like you're done with work. I call that your platinum. Hi, Sid. Hi, 69 Africa, you know? And I know that the retirement age was raised up. Hi, Latricia Douglas. I don't know when that happened, but I was younger when that happened. And I remember older people getting very, very upset. And of course, it didn't affect me. You know, when you're really young, I just talk about me. I'm like a little knucklehead. I don't see what the problem is with that. So what? They raised the age. Now here I am. Now I see what the problem is. Isn't that something? Sometimes, you know, a situation has nothing to do with your station in life. It has nothing to do with your age range, you know. It has nothing to do with you. You can't relate to it. But when it drops into when whatever that is drops into your life, it becomes very important. So when you turn 51 years old, you start looking at the other end. You start thinking about what kind of money you got left. You start thinking about Social Security. You start looking at your job closer at you. If you have a 501k, 301k, I can't think of what you call that because I don't have one. But you start thinking about all these different things because you want to unhook from clocking in or walking in. You know what I mean? You want to unhook completely from that. Or you want to get Social Security. I think you can make up to $10,000 a year or $15,000 a year and not have your Social Security check reduced. You know, so there's a cashier at the Dollar Tree that gets Social Security, and she works at the Dollar Tree part-time to make the ends meet. Just 2 or 3 days a week, you know. And she gets to be out amongst people and kind of conversate and kind of get out. You know, she has adult children. She has grandchildren. Hi, Badfinger Babe. Hi, Pam's Life. Yeah, I don't know. I was just kind of sitting here. You know, I'll just tell you. This is my laptop right here. I was just sitting there watching Billy Graham. I was just watching Billy Graham. Sometimes I go back. I remember I told you I got to go way back. And, you know, some people had a few negative things to say about Billy Graham after he passed away. You know, all these conspiracy theorists had all these different things to say about him, which I was very surprised. I'm not looking at the man. I'm just listening to some words. I'm just listening to some Bible teaching, you know. That's what I'm doing. And here's the vanilla. Here's your vanilla. We're going to pour that in. And you know what? Hold on just a second. I'm going to rinse that old school, I've got the old school egg beater here. You know, I was saying earlier to those of you that didn't step in, weren't here yet, that I got this egg beater at a yard sale, or what we used to call back in the day, we used to call it a tag sale. Does this look familiar to any of you? Does this look familiar? You can even see how it's kind of worn out. She's been used. Yes. There we go. So let's incorporate the vanilla for the flavor. Okay. And then, okay, according to the timer, it's 2 minutes and 20 seconds. I just don't want that cake to burn. I'm just trying to scrape some of the frosting off this wooden spoon and set that to the side. Just want to give it a little bit of a twirl here, a little bit of a mix. You want to get a workout? My grandmom used to let me help using one of them. Yes. Doesn't that bring back so many memories? You know, if you look at the cooking shows today on the Food Network, there's so much new equipment, so many new things that they have now. So many new things. Okay, taste test, hold on. Well, it looks like frosting to me. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's too good. Hold on, I gotta make sure. Hold on now, I gotta make sure it tastes good. Oh, that's good. And just to show you, here is your homemade vanilla frosting. Looks pretty good. Got a little lumpy bump right there, but we don't care. The Prime Minister of England and the Queen are not coming in to have some of this cake, so I guess I'm okay. Hi, Yacky Snacky. Okay, hold on. Hold on. My little itty bitty fledgling cake is rising. I just want to make for sure here. Okay, let's check. Okay. We are cooked around the edge and still jiggly wiggly in the middle. So it says 20 seconds on the timer. We're going to stop the timer and give it about 3.5 minutes or something like this. I'm just hoping the oven, it cooks so unevenly. Yeah, it is what it is. I'm not going to cry about that. I just thank the Lord I got an oven. Okay, let's see. Kitchen timer. All right. And we're going to go 0. And then let's do, I can press that button. There we go. Okay. Let me go over here and, yeah, it looks pretty good. I had made the same, I don't know if that's the exact same recipe. I simply went online. And speaking of which, what I'd like to do is to go over, hold on a second. Okay, see, I was watching Mr. Graham. And what we need to do is go to my big fat head, hit my channel. Let's see. Yeah, wait, my computer is so slow. And then, and there we are. You see that here we are right here. Let's click on this. Let's click on this. There's a little bit of a delay. I'm going to silence myself. Let's click on this. There's a little bit of a delay. I'm going to silence myself. There we go. So here you all are. And there's that. And see here, I can take a better look at the chat. We've been on for 35 minutes. I just wanted to be on long enough. Hopefully we can get the cake out. If not, I'll end this because I don't want to be on really, really late. We'll end this and you can see the results. I went on to thank you for the thumbs up. I went on Hi, I'm free to be me 8. I went on to Instagram and I saw some of your posts. So yeah, I am on the Instagram. I do have a Twitter account. There's nothing on there. It's Over 50 and Fantabulous for both. And I saw some wonderful pictures, some beautiful scripture. Miss Lena has some wonderful scripture up on her Instagram. I forget who else that I visited. I'll have to go. Yeah, I'll find you as well, Pam's Life. I'll find you as well. Let me go over and check this thing. I don't want it to burn. Oh, just a moment. Come here. They didn't see you last time. Stop. Stop. Look up here. I'm going to look at your eyes. I'm going to look at your face. Look over here. I'm trying to look at her face. Okay, let's see. Okay. Let's hit the stop button. All right. I realize my oven looks terrible. I gotta clean this thing. You know what? Off for 5 days and I didn't even think about cleaning my oven. That's normally something I would do. Oh, my friends, I think we have liftoff. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me back up. Better back up before I bake the phone. Well, that looks pretty good. What we'll do is we'll turn it off. Let me see. That's just about there. So what I'm going to do is the oven is still hot. I've turned that off. Let's give it just another minute. And then we're going to pull that out. And here is the homemade vanilla frosting. Basically, you just type homemade vanilla frosting or frosting online. You know, there's tons and tons of recipes. The cake recipe, I believe, was from BettyCrocker.com. And here is the vanilla frosting. And here is the, as some of you would say, my ugly cat statue. Yep. Watching. She was watching as I was whatchamacalliting. Yep, there's a light under there. Everybody, they kind of like look at it like, oh my gosh, that's the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's okay, you don't offend me. Hold on. Where's my emergency Pepsi? Yeah. I was kind of worried like this. I said, I don't feel like Thank you. Stop, drop, and roll on. You have a wonderful night. Come here, Fancy. Come here. Come here, baby. Come on. Come. Ooh. Come here. Gotta be kind of careful when I pick her up. I was kind of worried because I felt like I didn't have a lot of words to say, but I knew I wanted to bake a cake. And I was actually worried about the baking time and waiting as the cake cools. Would I have anything to say? Isn't that something? The drink of choice this evening is Pepsi. Pepsi, which I got out of the machine for 50 cents at my local Walmart. No, I'm not sponsored. Grandma's not. That's so funny. I can look over here because there's a delay and see what I just did, and I can see. Oh goodness gracious! I can't wait till my hair grows out. So I just feel kind of funny sometimes because I just cut it all the way down because it was just fried, and that's fine. It doesn't bother me. I'm amazed that the things that would bother me when I was young, when I was 18 and 15. If you are 16, 15 or 16 years old and you have hair down to here, the thought of someone coming by and cutting all your hair off will just make you would not want to leave your house. But now I don't know. I don't know if I'm just coming to a comfortable place in life where it doesn't matter. It doesn't bother me. I just am to the place where you put everything together as best as you can and you keep it moving. You know, I'm trying to be as real as possible. Yes. Thank you, Badfinger Babe, for the compliment about my goofy little light. I like that thing. I don't plug it in normally, but I figured I was gonna talk to you all, and I would whatchamacallit. Yesterday was a wonderful evening. That was a wonderful evening. I look back at the playback from about 53 minutes down. Um, Miss 69 Africa was giving, telling us her testimony about going through cancer and coming through the other end and still being here, you see. And that just sparked a light within me. And so now I'm just in this kind of an odd, quiet mood, you know? And I always get a little bit nervous. So much time wasted, says Pam's life, being upset over really nothing. Exactly. Thank you, 69 Africa. You are a blessing. Each and every, there's 26 of you. There are 26 of you here right now. Thank you so very much. Each and every one of you and your prayers are a blessing. If you will just roll back the clock of time a little bit when you were in a little bit of difficulty. I'm just talking about everyday, ordinary difficulty, let's just say. And here you are now on the other end of it, doing so well, no matter what category in life that is. You sort of can look back and then you sit there amazed at all the things, the trying things that the Heavenly Father has brought you through. Oh, yes, indeed. Oh, yes. About the outdoor kitty, I talked to you about her before, the black one and the gray one. They have taken her. The lady next door finally got, basically it's a vet. Yes, Badfinger Babe, exactly. Yes. So basically, this is a vet that really cares about cats. My neighbor knocked on the door, and he says, I just wanted to let you know you don't have to worry about feeding the cat. He goes, she's gone. And her name, by the way, was Lady. I did not know her name. And so, hi, Ava Love. I don't know if I said hi to you before, but hi again anyway. And so they came and he got a carrier. And the cat's name that looked like Fancy, bigger than Fancy, her name was Lady. I did not know that until today. And so this vet has a very big heart toward animals. So she took Lady, and then I think the gray cat with a little stubber tail that I was feeding both of them. And so yes, I was so happy to hear that because the winter has the winter is starting to set in, and Mrs. J will open her door for the cat and let her in. But sometimes she has 2 or 3 of her own, and Lady is one of those kinds of kitties that likes to be the only kitty, will start fighting with the others. So she'll let her stay in she would let her stay in as long as she could, and then she'd have to put her back out because it just was wreaking too much havoc in the household. I mean, you don't want to be sitting there in your living room and 2 cats are having a scrap all over your furniture, you just can't do it, Pam says, I have 3 cats right now, brought them from outside and feed a bunch of outside. Yeah, I don't know, just the thought of them being hungry, just the thought of them being hungry bothers me. And so I had a leftover bag of cat food, and then I had bought a new one. And so I had the leftover cat food, which was fresh. There was nothing wrong with it. I just bought Fancy that new brand that I showed you. Some of you may not have even seen it, but I decided to spend a few dollars more and upgrade her according to the package. I gotta put her down. According to the package directions, it had all kinds of vitamins, and it was a little more natural, you know. Fancy's getting a little bit older. Not that she's old. Oh, yes. Hi, Angela. Oh, thank you, Miss Angela. You tell your daughter thank you so very much. Yeah, I've never seen anything like this. It's kind of unusual. I don't even know where it's from. It was at Goodwill. And I started to wonder if this was just a project for one person, because a lot of people go to art classes and stuff like that, and you can see where this is just cut in and welded together right there. So I started to wonder, and there's the feet. You can tell that these were welded on. And I just wonder, because you have a lot of folks here. There's an older community here, a lot of older people. And you have some young folks here, of course. You have families here. According to the sign, the town has 17,000 people, but that sign might be 10 years old. I'm willing to guess there's about, I don't know, about 30,000 people here. I'm not really sure. I'd have to look at the census. There is our cake, my friends. There she is. It came out pretty good. It looks like it'll lift, too. You can tell by the edge where it doesn't look like it's stuck. So I think this might be pretty good. Might have to wait just a few minutes. Of course, I can't frost it now. It's too... Gotta do the wave. Do the wave on the poor thing. But yeah, that looks pretty good. And there, like you say, then we have our cake and we have our frosting. And so we'll put that all together. Once this cools down, it's going to take a bit of a while for that to happen. Okay. Right, Miss Fancy? I know there's something else I wanted to tell you. I told you about the kitty cats. I'm sorry. Grandma doesn't lead that exciting of a life, you know? Basically, it's work and come home. Work. Come here, baby. Come. It's work and come home. And come here. Come. Come. You got to trust me. Come here. Come on. Come on. There we go. I've tried a couple of times to call my younger sister. Finally, the second phone call, I was able to leave a message. This has been days ago. My older sister doesn't talk to either one of us. So I'm kind of worried. So I'm going to try again to call her a few times. I think what you can do in some cases, I know I had a police officer come up to my door when I was in Carolina, and he says, "Oh, I'm just here. Are you such and so?" I'm like, "Yes." He says, "Well, and your son is such and so." I'm like, "Yes." This is when me and my son were talking when I was in Carolina. I hadn't spoken to him in a while. I wasn't answering the phone, or I forget what happened. I don't think I had a phone card. I wasn't able to get a phone card, so my phone was shut off for a little bit of a while. And he says, "I'm just here to do a wellness check. I'm here to do a wellness check." He says, "Your son was kind of worried. Give him a call." I says, "Well, when I get my phone card, he'll get a call." But yeah, so now I'm thinking about doing that for my sister. Thank you very much. A welfare check. Yeah, because she is on, I mean, she has a visiting nurse that comes morning and early evening to give her medication. It's in a lot. I've said this too many times, but she's on medication. Yeah, I'm kind of worried because it's one of these things. When my older sister had something happen literally in her brain, and she had the surgery to do, I couldn't get I couldn't get many details from my younger sister. The only reason I found out about it was because me and my younger sister were talking every other day. And I remember visiting Connecticut at one point and going to my older sister's house. And I said, why, thank you very much, Pam. I said, why, you need to let me know if something's wrong. And she said, she goes, I don't believe in telling anybody my troubles. She's got this thing about her where she just doesn't want to say anything. If she's sick or something like that, she has her adult daughter. My niece is in her early 40s. 3-tier house. Mother lives at the top. Niece lives in the middle, the second floor. Her son lives on the bottom. They're all grown adults, and that house is going to be theirs once she leaves out of this world. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. They've been living with her forever. And that's just how it is with some families, And why am I saying that? Because the fear for me is if my younger sister could be in the hospital or something, my older sister may not tell me that. She may not. I'm sorry to say that, but she may not. I do not think that I'm the only human being on the planet that is going through the weirdness of my family. I don't think I'm the only one, So, yeah. All right, Miss Fancy. All right. You gonna be okay? Yeah, it's very odd. It's kind of embarrassing, because most people, I watch a lot of you all. I watch different YouTubers, and you'll see a family visiting their grandparents. There's one person I'm subscribed to. Her mother is in like a home, but a good one. Thank you, Latrice Douglas Brown. Her mother is in a home, and she'll do videos where Mother's Day or stuff, they'll go get her. They'll go to the home and get her, take her out on Mother's Day, and all this other business. I don't have that. And sometimes I feel kind of weird because I don't have that. And I never thought that it would get to the place in this country where there would be so many of us. It's not a sad statement as far as an independent older woman or man living alone. That's just how it is, right? You happen to be single. So I think that now more than ever, you have these families that are kind of intermixed, where grandparents are raising their daughter's children, where you have grandma is taking care of a 10-year-old. Yeah. I think it is a sign of the times. I would agree with that, Badfinger Babe. I think it is. And there's a lot of just different things where you have friends that they're from broken homes, and the friends get together and they're friends and they live together. They even buy a house together, and they're friends of a particular age. There's there's even roommates of older men, just purely friends, treat each other like brothers. And then you have females that are in their 50s and their 60s. They pool their Social Security checks together and they live together and they're friends. They each have their own room, their own TV, they've got everything all set up, and that's just how it is. They split the groceries. Families are different now. Maybe this has always been, but because of social media, we can see it more readily. But there's a lot of unusual things happening where groups of people are just trying to survive, for goodness sakes. They're trying to survive. And you got 3 people working minimum wage jobs that may be cousin or uncle or something like that. You got 3 or 4 people working minimum wage or working part-time, and they get a house or something together with enough bedrooms and enough room. I'm looking over here to see the chat. Latricia Douglas Brown, I'm considered as part of the sandwich generation where I'm taking care of my family and I'm the caregiver for my parents. My dad has, I'm so sorry about your daddy. My dad has Alzheimer's and my parents are in their 80s. Same holds true. The same holds true for Tim. I totally get that. Remember when I was living in the camper, you know, when I was over there? Now, every once in a while, his mother gets heart palpitations or whatever, and she goes to the hospital. She's okay now. She's on medication, you know. Father-in-law, I say father-in-law, I'll just say dad. Dad is doing just fine physically. But Tim is 55 years old, and he lives with them, and he's going to live with them to the very end. He's staying with them forever. Hi, Joyful Gigi. Hi, Lynn and everyone. Yes, like the Golden Girls a while back. It's much been going on, but much worse now. Exactly. I'm just can look at the chat there. Excuse me. Yeah. And so, because I'll just say what I feel. Because that devil is stepping in and separating, people are separating in families, and people are angry over minuscule things, and they have not talked to each other for 15 or 20 years over something minuscule, or childhood jealousy between 2 sisters or family members has gone into adulthood and even seniorhood, which sounds kind of silly, but that's how the enemy works. Divide and conquer. And so that's part of it, where you have all these different types of families, now. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you all are getting along and you're roommates and you're getting along, and each of you, 2 or 3 of you, whatever the situation is, excuse me, you're respecting one another's privacy, you're respecting one another's privacy, you're respecting one another's beliefs, you know, and you just sort of got the kind of personalities where you get along, and, you know, you're just helping one another. I don't see anything wrong with that. You're just trying to make it through. Like I told you that story where they had that, I don't know, I forget her age, if she was 72 or 76, but you had that older lady that her rent, oh, the other way. Her rent went up. Gotta turn it the other way, away from that sponge. The other way. Losing my train of thought. Where her rent went up, and she had been living in the same place for, according to the vlogger, the YouTube creator, I think she was living in that place for 11 years. And then I think she's 76, 72. Well, anyway, she's in her 70s. She's in her 70s. And I guess she had been paying on time, but she didn't have enough money this time because he raised the rent on her. And they got her sitting outside with a comforter wrapped around her. This old lady, you know. I'm telling you, we're in an interesting time. Let's see if we can lift my little Charlie Brown cake, if you will. Uh-oh, I think we have liftoff. I think we have liftoff, my friends. Okay. Woo! Let's see. Oh, my friends. Oh, we got it all in one piece. Yay! Woo-woo! Goodness gracious. Let's see. Smells like vanilla cake. Let's see. Are we cooling off? Why don't I go... Thank you. Why don't I go ahead? I just want to spread a little bit of frosting and then we'll say good night because I know it's getting late where you all are. We'll just put a little bit of frosting on here. I think we can without it sliding all over the place. Hi, California glow. Yes. Hold on, I'm just trying to, you gotta be able to see what I'm doing. For those of you that didn't see it, Grandma made some homemade vanilla frosting. We made a homemade little cake. If you go back and you're interested, I name all the ingredients and everything. If you want to go back to this, once it becomes a video and you want to kind of skip through, I am not offended. I am not offended. Okay. Let's see what happens here, my friends. Can we do it? Can we do it? Okay. Okay. So far, so good. It's got a little bit of a crack in it right there, but we'll cover over that. Still has her Easy Bake Oven. She just turned 31. I love my Easy Bake Oven. I love that thing. I begged my mother for one. I don't know what color your daughter's is. Mine was aqua colored. I would put it on my bedroom floor. Yeah, I'm gonna have to stop frosting, but I just wanted you to at least see. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. I'm gonna keep going. Get a little bit melty. It doesn't matter. We'll just keep going with it. That's not bad. Look at that. We got a little melty. We don't care. Yes. There's something very satisfying. There is something very satisfying about making a homemade cake or a homemade anything. You know, it takes a little bit extra time, but there's something very satisfying about that. When you make a lasagna, you know, when you get your collard greens and you know what I mean? You get you de-stem or take the stems out and you put your ham hocks in there and let that cook, and you take your time letting that cook, and you get your macaroni and cheese, all the different kinds of cheeses and the little special ingredients where mama and grandmama showed you how to make it. There's something very special about anything homemade. I'm telling you. You just feel kind of happy. And I remember when I would, at one point I had a whole household of people. I had a husband that had teenage children, and then I had Alan, who was about 13, or my son was 13 or 14 years old at the time. And our meals would be buffet style, you know, and I so enjoyed. My thought when I was a child is I wanted to get married and have 4 or 5 children, and I just wanted to be at home taking care of my family. That's what I really wanted. That's what I really wanted. Oh, yes, Missy, I will. Missy says to save a piece for her. Yeah, this is not bad. This is not bad. Hold on. I'm gonna stop. Let me see. You know what? I gotta stop doubting myself. We have to stop doubting ourselves. Sometimes I doubt myself. You ever feel this way? This is going to sound kind of whatever. You're living in a certain way. Financially, whatever your house, apartment, condo, roommate situation, or in a camper, whatever you're living. It's kind of like you feel like, I don't know how to describe this. Where you could step out of your situation that the world would say was a meager financial situation or a meager, simple way of living. It's kind of like you're poor, but you have a wealthy way of thinking, where you could slip into that quite easily, not in a pompous way or in an egotistical way or in a look at all the stuff that I have way. It's kind of like you have a millionaire, very classy mentality. You know, you have a very sophisticated mentality, but you're living very meagerly. But in your mind, you're a very sophisticated person, where someone could pull a limo to your front door and you could step out and go into a very expensive restaurant and know all the forks and knives and things like that. I don't know how to describe that. But sometimes I see certain set things. I watch different kinds of videos and different kinds of lifestyles. And I think about that. I feel like yeah, we got a little bit of a crack in it. Hold on. We'll cover that. We'll cover that little opening right there with frosting. That never existed. But it's kind of like living your best life or whatever. Living your best life. I don't know how to describe that. This, for me, that frosting is really good. That frosting is 3 cups of powdered sugar, 1/3 of a cup of butter, 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla, and 1 to 2 tablespoons of milk. You add the powdered sugar to the butter until it's kind of fluffy. Then you add the milk. Then you add the vanilla and just mix it up. That's it. It's very simple. I literally typed in simple cake recipe. Simple cake recipe. I feel like I've allowed the devil to steal about 3 decades of my life. I do sometimes. I can't sit back and think about it and think on it all the time. But I feel like, you know, this is why I like to share. I don't want someone that's a lot younger than me feeling a certain set bad way about themselves. I want them to go for it, and I want them to live. And I don't want a younger person that may happen to step in here to miss out on life, to miss out on that degree, to miss out on living their best life possible. You know what I mean? I'm on the other end where I'm retired. Just about retired. I know you can start over at 50 and 60 and 70, and you can let your latter glory to the Most High. You can let your latter years be better. You know, you can let the ending of your life be better. I would just love to leave my grandchildren something. I would just love to leave them something. And I talk to the Lord about this all the time. That perhaps, maybe, when I get out of here, I'm wondering, why don't we, if we can, got to be careful with the camera, can we get one? Can we get one of these? Can we have on Timmy's gave me these plates. He collects plates. Why don't we enjoy a piece of cake on one of these nice plates? Ooh, oh, we missed a spot. Hold on. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me aim. Let's see. Can we do that? Poor little Charlie Brown cake. Oh, that's not so bad. That's not so bad. But I just sit back and I think about all the years that have passed. I got to tell you, I was running in some cases. I was running from one situation with Satan behind me. I was running from things. Yes, I did. I ran from some things. I ran out of shame, and I ran out of fear, and I allowed myself to accept the little bit that I could accept, you see. And I so want someone else not to waste their life and waste their time. I so much want you, I so much want you to know how good that you are and how deserving that each and every one of you are deserving of great things and good things, I guess is what I want to say. And if you don't want to settle, please do not settle. Please don't settle. All right. Da 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 da. All right. Let's see. It looks like a cake. Hold on. Hold on. Sorry about that noise. Okay. Hold on. Oh, let's see. Oh, okay. That's not bad. Okay. Release. Release. That's not bad. Okay, let's have a taste of our little Charlie Brown cake, shall we? Okay, my friends, if I could just put this down without it falling down. I know there's a simple way to do this, but I choose to do things difficult, in the hard way. My mother used to always say, why are you always doing things the hard way? There's always an easier way. You always do things the hard way. All right. Okay. Here's kind of a close-up of my little Charlie Brown cake. I've always wanted to do this live. I've always wanted to make a homemade cake live for you all so you could see. If I can do it, if you're doubting yourself about making a homemade cake, well, if I can do it, you can do it. Oh, don't want to drop it. Oh, no, now. Let me stop. That's what I get for flapping my gums. This cake melts in your mouth. I am not even joking around. This cake melts in your mouth. You can see by looking at it, it is not dry. It is moist. And let me just see something. Without frosting. Hold on. Some folks don't like frosting. My mother would always want cake without frosting. Hold on. It's holding together really well. It's not dry. That's a moist cake. I'm telling you. Now, the frosting may not be for everybody. I've had better frosting. I use real butter and everything. You can taste the powdered sugar flavor in it. You can taste the vanilla and stuff like that. It's on the sweet side, which I don't mind. So I would like to find another. It's good. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give the cake a 10 as far as what I like. Moist. You know, a moist and flavorful. The frosting, out of 10, I would give it about a 7 for that recipe. So maybe the kind of sugar I'm using, I could probably try something different as far as adding sugar. Maybe a liquid sugar. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm so used to the Betty Crocker pre-made frostings. If you've been having Betty Crocker frostings for 30 years, right? And then you try this with powdered sugar, you're kind of taken aback because it doesn't taste the same. It's good. About a 7 out of 10, I would say. It's good. But the cake is moist. You know a cake is good. You can take it apart. It holds together. You can kind of squeeze it like that. And on its own, It tastes good on its own. You know you've done well. Thank you, Betty Crocker Recipes. I went to Betty Crocker. I think I went to Betty Crocker Recipes. You know, I wonder, was there really a Betty Crocker? Did she really exist, or is that a name that the company put behind the brand? You know how they just want to kind of, back in the 40s and the 50s, maybe even the 30s, they'll develop a character kind of with her apron, her hair just so. And you know the children are running around, and she's in the she's got her pink ruffled apron, her bib apron on, and her hair's together, her nails are together. I don't know how she did it. Hair, nails, and lipstick are together, and she's cooking and looking good at the same time. You know, we're there in our jogging pants. We got our baggy t-shirt on. We got our 10-year-old house slippers running around, you know, or we got our wrap. We got a silk scarf or a do-rag on our head in our kitchen, you know. we're not running around, you know, with a, you know, looking perfect in our kitchen. But I just wonder about that. Yes, yes, Joyful Gigi. I would want it to be a little more creamy. There's something about the flavor of that powdered sugar that I don't like. You know? And I think I just need to try a different frosting, I would say. If you have any suggestions, honey, or you want to do a video, you know, do a video. Come on now. Someone started a channel. I went over to it. Oh my goodness. One of our girls here, one of our sisters started did her first video. Goodness gracious, I can't remember who that is. Because I went over and watched her first video. Who in the world was that? I'll remember that. But really, as you see, it's gone. I'm bad like that. I'll eat that whole cake in a couple of days. I'm not even joking. You know, when I turn the camera off, I got to have another piece, right? All right, my friends. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so very, very much for tuning in. I appreciate it. I know it's a Thursday evening going into a Friday, and many of you all have to get up and go to work tomorrow. Thank you, Latricia Douglas Brown. I didn't think so. I didn't think Miss Betty Crocker was a real person. Kind of in the back of my head, I remember a documentary or something. I love documentary on brands. The other thing that I like is the show. I'm sure some of you have seen the show How It's Made. The How It's Made show, where like anything, like you want to know how they make spaghetti, how they make gummy bears and stuff like that. I love shows like that. Wonderful, Angela. Thank you so very much, honey. Please, each and every one of you, you have a wonderful night. Again, thank you so very much for taking time out of your valuable evening to come in here and see old Granny with her goofy hat. I love y'all. Thank you so very much. And thank you for the thumbs up as well. That's very kind of you to do. If I can press the button. Love y'all. Get some good rest.